Welcome to Club Damingo, brought to you by Cyclone Comics.
Good morning, Tim. How's it going?
Good morning, Gary. It's going well. How are you?
I'm going particularly well for a Tuesday morning, I suppose.
Very good.
Under the circumstances.
Shall we? What are the circumstances, Gary? Just life?
Yeah, that's life. Let's not go into that. But a good, a solid 6 out of 10 under the circumstances.
Okay.
And last week I forgot to be animated, so now I've got to be animated again because
I had a quick look at some of the old episodes. You're plenty animated enough. You're fine. No need to dance. And I'm just checking out the weather at the moment, and here in Western Sydney, it's almost as cold as you guys in Hobart or Tasmania. We've had a dose of winter. It's only just reached 16 degrees.
16.
Now at 11 o'clock in the morning.
Weather.
Yeah, I know for you. But yeah, gosh, from when we were having like 30s, like mid and high 30s earlier a few weeks ago. So I don't know. I'm wearing a t-shirt, but I don't feel like wearing a t-shirt. But
yesterday, Belle was driving into town. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and she was driving through snow and sleet on the ground.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, late October in Tasmania.
It's not like you're driving through the Highlands to get from your place to the city, right?
No, it's just up and over Vince's Sack, which is it is a landform, but it's not a mountain. It's
crazy.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyway, but we've got the sun out today, which is good.
Nice. Mine's gone.
Yeah.
Bit overcast. We've been chatting for a little while already, but I that's the first time I've noticed you've got a piece of Mike Grell artwork on the drawing board back there.
Something that I uncovered on my archive investigation with all of my art boxes and stuff like that was it's on flimsy tissue paper.
Yeah.
But
wow, there you go. Because he's a friend. Do you count him as a friend still?
Yeah. There have been recent. He got married a couple of years ago to a lovely lady, and we sort of went to his online wedding. Dave DeVries and I sort of chimed in.
Very cool.
I don't think it was the ceremony, but it was in celebration of getting married and getting hitched again and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we keep in touch. The occasional email, and it's like no time has passed. So same with Mike Barron. Occasionally I'll get a message with an obscure question from Mike Barron that I just answer real quick, and then you never hear from him again.
Right. Yeah. So, in those friendships were made when you guys were making a push for Cyclone Comics and attendant IP into America, and you made friends with a few people like that, right?
That's right. Yeah, they both came out to Australia where we met them. Same with Kurt Busick. We made contacts there. So when they went back, they had us in mind, and we just kept being pals and kept in touch. And so and be able to get things like that. Hey, I did the right hand. Did things like that.
Yeah, stick it in your rig. Stick it in your rig, Gary.
Oh God. Yeah. Anyway, so Mike Grell,
and now we're going into there we go. Not a dream sequence.
IT, we're loving it.
Not a real
IT and being uncoordinated.
So I'm looking at getting a new iMac myself, and I reckon I'll start having those troubles at that point because it's got that, what do they call it, stage presence or something, where
focus.
The camera zooms in and zooms out of you as you move around. Going, no, just stay stuck where you are. I'll move around.
Yes.
Camera.
Now, where are we starting this week? We left off, I think, last week by not mentioning the Stanley Awards recipients. We mentioned the weekend
because you were protesting, right? You said, Tim, we're not talking about the Stanley Awards recipients this episode. No, he didn't. He didn't. Everybody
just completely slipped our minds. So
I texted Gary. Was it hours later or days later? I can't remember. It was like with a face palm. We talked about the Stanley Awards and the conference, and we never actually talked about who won. So
okay. So do you have a list there of recipients?
I do.
Do you have the finalists as well?
I do.
Oh, okay. Then I'll just sit back and have my cup of tea and let you take over. Ladies and
Should we,
gentlemen, the 2025 Stanley recipients.
are we really interested in all of it though? Like you and I were not interested in editorial cartoons and single gag cartoons, are we?
Whatever
Are the
you
kiddies
think
at home
is
interested?
appropriate. I'm going to
Well,
blow
let's
my
start with
nose
the
for
comic.
you.
Let's start with the comic book artist
Comic book artist, most
category.
important award of the evening.
Of course it was, and how it was that you weren't nominated, I don't know. That's just crazy talk.
Not enough
It was
payola under the
crazy.
table, I reckon.
Yeah, that's what I reckon
I did
too.
a
Three
cover print spot
nominees.
for them for nothing. And
That's
the payola just didn't work. God.
oh my God. Did you
There are
end up going on stage to announce this one?
not this one, but the illustrator
Okay,
category.
I'll go
Yeah,
to that one second then.
yeah. So I was
So
up on
who
stage.
announced? Yes, go ahead.
I was up on stage, and that was fun.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Okay. How come? What did you do?
Oh no, it was
Did
just
you
it's good
drop
getting
your
up and saying
dax
hi to
or?
everyone from behind a lectern kind of thing. It was funny though. The microphone was, I don't know whether we mentioned this last week or not, but the microphone
No.
was playing havoc. The audio was just shit. Dropping in and then out until finally 2/3 through the awards, someone, I don't know who it was, I don't know, someone everyone knows, but he walked from the back of the room, walked up to the lectern, grabbed the microphone, yanked it out, threw it on the ground. Everyone applauded, and so it was just up to loud voices after that. But it was so annoying, and this one person just had enough.
Yeah,
That
good.
was fantastic.
Brilliant. Because I haven't even asked you personally what the night itself was like. Because I didn't go to the dinner, but you went to the dinner. So, yeah, who was at your table and
There was Glenn Lumsden on my right, and there was Danny Best on my left, and Lyndall next to him, and I've forgotten her name now. Anyway, I'm not going to even try. My brain's fuzzed this morning. So yeah, it was, and we were sort of like wedged into the wall. It was a very tight room with round tables and chairs, and people having to,
yeah,
shuffle
I
past and
think
stuff like that.
I think they were surprised at how big a turnout there was,
Yeah,
being in
probably.
Hobart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we were tucked in a
that's it.
corner where there was a door jamb blocking the screen, where you'd have things like In Memoriam, where it'd just be this music playing and a slideshow of people that had passed away across the year. And Danny Best and I couldn't see anything. Glenn could just see it because he was further around the table. So we were just sitting there going, he's going to be rude to say, who died? Yell out the names.
Yeah, that might have been a bit rude.
Yeah. So it was very tightly packed, and the food was okay. Everyone was in a great mood. I put some things up for auction, and they were both sold, so that was good. So a fun night was had by all. But after the previous day, where we all got together for a bit of a nosh up and some beers, it got to 9:30, 10 o'clock, and Glenn Lumsden and I were just totally exhausted. We don't get out much anymore. So
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, right. So, and the two pieces that you put up for auction, the proceeds of that went to the ACA to help keep them going, right? The Australian Cartoonist Association. Yeah, cool. So I saw you had a Lady Luck piece there. I was there earlier in the day and saw that sitting there. What was the second piece?
It wasn't a piece. It was a hardcover edition of The Spirit, The New Adventures that I had.
Right.
Yes. So I gently cut open the shrink wrap around it and peeled that back and opened up to the title page and signed it, and then closed it and put the shrink wrap back and put some sticky tape over it. So it was as protected as I could make it while still signing the book.
Very good. Yeah, fantastic. Oh,
cool. So they both got snapped up. So that was good. Yeah.
Good to hear.
Yeah. So
good on you. So in the comic book artist category, which is reasonably new, I don't know, 10 years probably now, but in the 100+ year history of the Cartoonist Association, it's reasonably new. The three nominees were Rob Feldman, Paul Mason, and Dean Rankin, who are all very worthy, regardless of my railing against the fact that you're not in the list there. Those four are very much worthy. Those three are very much worthy there. Love Feldman's work especially. I wish there was a more regular output for me to read. from Rob. I really love his stuff. And we all know Paul Mason and Dean Rankin, I'm sure. So really
they
great
tied for
field
win
there.
last year. I think they both tied for the same category win last year.
Who did?
Paul and Dean.
Paul Mason and Dean Rankin. Yeah. Well, that's right. I think it's coming back to me. This year, Paul Mason took the trophy
Solo. Yes.
So yeah.
So congratulations. Very well deserved.
Yeah. He's interesting, isn't he? With his research to become a PhD doctor in comics. Looking at from memory, because I read his PhD a long time ago now. Looking at very much old school kind of comics and methodologies, and his love of Jack Kirby, etc., etc. I think he really takes on that methodology of getting the pages done, and trying to be that kind of highly active, getting pages done often. So yeah, in that regard alone, that's worthy of awarding, I reckon.
Yeah, he's a master of momentum, and knowing what I know about his private life and his obligations with lecturing and earning a living and all that kind of stuff around the edges, it's amazing he gets the amount of work he gets done.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so cool. Congratulations to him and to the other nominees. The book illustrator category, which you gave the award for.
I did the general illustrator one. That was
general illustrator. Okay, not book illustrator.
Yeah.
Well, let's do book illustrator, because 3 comic book people were nominated there for book illustration, and that was Jason Chatfield, Franz Cantor, and Dean Rankin. So that was Dean's second nomination for the night. Second of 2. Yeah, I think it was second of 2. So 2 nominations for Dean. Book illustrator. Jason Chatfield, who, if the kiddies at home don't know, Jason, most well known for drawing Ginger Megs for quite a few years, and being the president of the ACA and being the president of the NCS, the American version of an ACA.
Talk about heavy hitters. The 3 of them heavy hitters. Yeah. And of course,
Franz Cantor, who took the trophy. Who's been around since the 80s as an illustrator and has always been really incredible as an illustrator. So I'm not sure if there was a particular book that each of these were being looked at for the awards, because the ACA awards are interesting as well, in that, yes, they're peer voted, which we've spoken about before. But when you get the voting book, which I have on the floor here somewhere, I don't know where. When you get the voting book, the pieces in there are not what you're voting on. You're not supposed to be voting on this piece by Tim versus that piece by Gary. The pieces in there are supposed to just remind you of who Tim is and what his overall work is and what Gary's work overall is like. And you should be voting on what you think for the year's output, what it should be, because you only get, like, comic book artists get a full page because of the nature of our work, but everybody else only gets a half page to kind of remind everybody what their work is like. So editorial cartoonists might put in their one best piece for the year. Someone like Dean Rankin will put in a bunch of different illustrations to remind you of everything he's done that year. And so yeah, I'm not sure what France has done this year illustration wise, but he's a working illustrator, so the work is being done for sure. But yeah.
And I wonder whether that reminder of what the artist has done across the year actually works, or whether there's a lot of the membership that are so pushed for time that they just judge based on the page that's in the yearbook.
Yeah, I'm sure that happens. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a conversation we could have off air if we want to get a bit political about how I think the voting works in the ACA. I don't think I want to put it on a podcast. So anyone who wants to talk about it can ask me in person, but I'm not going to put it in writing. So that was the book illustrator section. Oh my God. So you did general illustration, and that was Andrew Fife, Judy, Nadine,
I think,
and Paul Pope.
David Pope.
That's what I
I
said.
was going to say, Paul Pope is in Australia.
David Pope. So yeah, and David Pope took the award. So again, illustrating for in the newspapers, spot illustrations or for books and magazines, that kind of thing. We'll look at comic strip artists being a important cousin to comic books. The comic strip cartoonist. The three nominees were Ian Jones, Tony Lopes, and Peter Player. And Tony Lopes won. I think Tony Lopes has won for the last 502 years, something like that, for his insanity streak. I think that's what it's called, comic strip. Pete Player, though, like, I love what he does, and he makes comics as well.
Yeah, he's who I voted for.
And he also does.
Yeah, he was facing me at our table, so I got to sort of say, "Love your work."
That's right. He was
across the table. Yeah,
yeah, good. And
he looked at me and he went, "Who are you?"
Yeah, who the fuck are you?
Yeah, I said, "I'm Gary Della from Reverie." Gary Della from Reverie. He went, "Oh, no, love your work too."
Okay. Is that going to make it on the credits list for the graphic for this week that we're talking about Gary Della, not Gary Chaloner?
Yeah, well,
it could do.
Could do.
So yeah, and Peter paints on wood as well in his cartoony style, but he does paintings, and every so often he does like 3-dimensional paintings as well, where he'll cut and shape wood to make like a bit of a relief as well. So his work is great. I love it. And yeah, he does comics every so often. I wish he would do more because his comics are good fun. Yeah. It's really great when somebody comes into comics or attacks comics with the kind of abandon that Peter Player does, which is like just huge panels and crazy,
just has fun with it.
Yeah, great stylization, really great fun.
Yeah.
So do we really want to go through the other categories? Caricaturist was Paul Harvey, Judy Naden, David Rowe. David won. Editorial or political cartoonist was Rod Emerson, David Pope, and Kathy Wilcox. Kathy's the president of the club, of the association, and Kathy won. Event cartoonists, so that's people who go and draw caricatures live, was Peter Byrne, Paul Harvey, and Steve Panozzo, and Paul won. And single gag cartoonist was Megan Herbert, Peter Player again, Andrew Weldon, and Megan won.
Who we have talked about on this show before, about Substack and how she can convert that into making an income stream for your cartooning.
Yeah. Why are we?
I don't know. Just anyway, just thought it was, see if people are watching. But yeah, we won't go into those other awards.
I think I just did.
I think you just did. You covered everything. Yeah, okay.
I thought I'd be quick enough just to read through it like that.
Yeah. So you got some more talking to do, because last weekend you went to Ashfield.
I get, my phone goes bing, and Amory goes, "Who's that?" And I'm just giggling, and she's going, "Who is that?" I go, "It's Gary." And she's going, "What?" I go, "I can't explain it. He just says the word Ashfield, and
it's very meta, isn't it?"
What? You go, yeah. So it's hard to explain. So yes, at Ashfield, my old stomping ground as a teenager, and you had some time there as well. And Ashfield, at Ashfield Library. So it was a library-run event called Comic Conversation.
Oh, sorry, I dropped the ball there. Comic Conversation.
I went to the wrong one first.
Oh God!
Comic Conversation.
It's hard being an unco these. Chopper pose.
That's right. Comic Conversation. It's there somewhere. So yeah, really great event. Let's talk about it compared to last year. Because last year there was a monsoon in Sydney on the day it was on, and it was just it was bucketing down in rain. We couldn't have the doors open because the rain was just coming through. And I think it really, really impacted. And it was one of the worst days of sales I ever had. And yet this Saturday at Comic Conversation, we had a great day, really good, engaged audience. I sold comics to some ex-students. I sold comics to librarians. I sold comics to people who I'd never met before. Had really a few, and I wasn't the only one. At a bit of a debrief at dinner, talking to a few other people who tabled. I wasn't the only one who had pretty lengthy conversations with young people who said were just going, so how do you do this? How do you make a comic? What is this?
Right.
How does? So
Wow.
yeah, it was pretty cool like that.
Young people, like people under 40.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly.
Ah,
And I tell you what, I just wrote a note. I don't always, in fact, I rarely write an email, and I probably should do it more often because I'm always so grateful for a table that I'm given or even curated and paid for. To pay for a table at events. I'm always grateful for the tables, and I don't write specifically to thank people often enough. But I wrote to Dennis, who was my contact at Inner West Libraries, who asked me to be a part of it, to thank him and to tell him how great it was. But there was also, again, because it's a community run event and a government funded event, I thought they probably should know a few brief things that I thought about it. And one of the things was that off the top of my head, I counted 10 people, and I know that's not a lot, but maybe as a percentage of everybody who walked through, maybe it's not a small amount either. But I could count 10 people who were there specifically because of me. I'm going, this is important for when you're trying to decide who should be um, a guest or a tabler if you're curating the tables. And it's not because I've got a huge following. I'm pretty sure there were people there who had more social media following than me. And those 10 I could count because they said something specific to me about why they were there. So there's possibly another 2 or another 10 or something that were there also because of me. And that's just me, right? Because I'm McEwen centric because I'm the center of my own world. But who knows if other people who are tabling there have similar stories. I'm sure that they did. Because I know that things like Comic Con-versation, which at one point, as a library driven event, at one point was in something like 8 libraries on one weekend or over a 2 or 3 week period or something.
right.
It was a pretty interesting festival that it's a shame it shrank so quickly again.
Right.
But it could be an important one because it's a very public facing event that's different even to the other free events like Other World Zine Fair or Scamp or Geek Markets.
That
that are
library
free.
connection is very, very valuable.
Yeah.
For a lot of reasons. Yeah.
So I thought I'd write to them and tell them a few things like that, because the other thing is that I wanted to say to them, these people were here this weekend because you put on this event and because I was at your event, and they come to Ashfield and then they go and buy lunch or a coffee or they pay for parking or they see a restaurant and say, oh, I should come back to that restaurant or whatever. So it's good for the local area as well. And this is not as big as Oz Comic Con. I don't know what the numbers were. It was a pretty good morning. The afternoon quietened down a bit, but in fact, morning it must have been the first few hours because it started at 11. So it wasn't just the morning; it was into the lunchtime as well. So yeah, don't go thinking when I explain this to you that you're thinking that it's like Oz Comic Con or whatever. It's not that big, but if they build it, and becomes a festival, the local businesses as well as the local council should really support it a lot more, because it really does bring people in who want to spend money on my comic, but also on your kebab or your pub or whatever.
Ashfield could become the new Angoulême.
Oh, imagine that. I
freeze frame.
Me. So yeah, and it's not that it's a competition, because there is a slightly different crowd each time. There is, I think, an overlap, but it's definitely a different crowd each time. But the other free events in Sydney, should be thinking about that kind of idea as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, because I know free events usually need formal support from either the venue or the council or an arts body of some sort. Otherwise, the free event is going to cost money of the organisers. So yeah.
So the elephant in the room. How'd you go with your panel with Louis Joyce?
Oh yeah, it was great. We had an hour on stage. I'm going, Louis, it's an hour. Like, if we want to wrap up early, we can just wrap up early. That's a long time. But the woman,
Would have gone
uh,
flying by.
yeah, the lady who was taking care of us on the floor, like, kind of walked past us with the microphone, going, 5 minutes. It's time for questions from the audience. We're going, shit, we're nearly done. Like, you can't believe it.
How was the balance? Because you were saying last week to me, either on or off camera, that you were being interviewed by Louis, and
Yeah,
with his projects around at the moment, it really should have been the other way around, perhaps. So
yeah,
how was that balance? Was there much of a
yeah.
change, or was it all you centric?
No, no, no. It was balanced as a lot more than that.
Right.
But Louis ran it, so he was the chair of the two of us. And yeah, if we didn't mention it on air yesterday, last week, kiddies, when I first was asked to be involved, my brain read the email as if to say, let's talk about Australian comics as it is now and comics community. Who do you think would be good to be on the panel with you? And I thought Louis Joyce would be the best one because of his recent Godzilla success and his current Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles success, and then the indie stuff he's been doing at several different levels, and he would be really great because I'm so centric on Greener Pastures, which has you know
Yeah.
its own arms that go everywhere, but also the Ledger Awards, the Cars, Sunburnt Comics distribution, etc., etc., etc. So we taking into consideration all of that subject matter, we didn't have enough time to chat between the two of us, and I made sure there was a rousing round of applause for Louis and his recent success when we finally got to that part of the chat. But interestingly, it was in Ashfield Town Hall. I'm pretty sure, that you would call it the Town Hall. So if you imagine a town hall, a modern one, not one of the really fancy old ones, but a smaller modern one. There's a stage and then the floor. The floor is where all of the tables were and the people coming in and out.
I was going to ask, you were still having your panel while people were still selling.
Yeah, so the panel was on the stage.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, it's a 50-50 proposition. It means that you get a great passing audience, but there were chairs there, and people definitely came to sit and just focus as well.
Yep.
So as a person on stage, I felt like it worked pretty well, and there was definitely cat calls from the floor. In fact, maybe it was son Samuel who made the started the applause for Louis. In fact, now that I'm thinking about it, maybe he went, "Yay, Louis!" and then there was a round of applause. And Sam was at the other end of the hall, so there was it was an interesting kind of way to run it. I was there in front of my peers the whole time, so there was a couple of times where I would talk about Ryan K. Lindsay over there and Hayden Fryer over there, and so it was an interesting way to run it. When I was at my table and there was a panel on, you being on that side of it, I was kind of going, oh, it's very hard to sell now. Very hard. I feel rude that I'm trying to talk. And
keep it down up there. I'm trying to make a sale.
True. I felt like I needed to raise my voice to be heard over the panel, and then I don't want to be interrupting the panel. So it was. I think it's worthy for a venue like that and an event like that. I think it was good. Plus, there were other more workshopy type events happening upstairs in the library proper as well. Right. There was one fella, Alan. His name was Alan, who I've met online recently, an Australian comic collector, who is, I don't know, older than you and I. A little bit getting into that stage of life where health is like a constant battle, So it was really great to see that he had come out to see us. He said, "Oh, I'm feeling pretty good today." So, or recently, so he came out to.
I know the feeling.
Yes. Yeah. But he said, "Look, I was going to stay for your talk, but the acoustics in here, which were pretty bad, and I just can't hear anything." However, I was just upstairs at the talk on editing comics, and that was really great. he said to
Right.
me. So so yeah, it was everything was happening, and it was I think it was a really kind of good spread, and the librarians working really hard to make that happen as well.
Yeah.
They worked hard early in the morning until it was, over and done with. They were working hard before it was put on, as what happens when you put on an Oz Comic Con or
Yeah.
a Geek Markets or whatever. But yeah, it was good to see how it all came together. It was really good.
And you were happy with the panel with Louis in general? You covered a lot of ground. And
It was great. Yeah. Louis seemed to have a good time. So
good. Cool.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Excellent.
Yeah. And Samuel, again, to name drop the son. So Samuel chaired a panel with two other people on autobiographical comics, Nikki and Meg O'Shea. Nikki, I can't remember Nikki's last name, but on autobiographical comics.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the poster there from the weekend, which I hope they don't mind I stole, because as we were leaving, I was going, oh, the posters are still up. I'm going to nick one.
Yeah, right. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
No, you're helping with the pack down in stealing a poster.
That's what I reckon.
One less thing to pack.
Exactly. So yeah, I think, was that everything? Oh, the other thing from that event was I mentioned Hayden Fryer a moment ago, from Cobber and Billy Demon Slayer, to mention two of his comics. He's made quite a few, but he's done two hardcovers of his ink illustrations. So this is the second one, ink art of Hayden Fryer. Right. So random page.
Yeah.
So he just does like what people do for Inktober, ink and no penciling. He does that reasonably often. And it's the first time I've seen Hayden since he released it. And he gave me my contributor's copy. Thanks for the intro, signed Hayden.
Nice.
Because I did the intro for this. So, So thanks for that, Hayden. And it's a beautiful book. And
did you draw the intro or write the intro?
No, I wrote the intro. I'm not going to take the
nice.
I'm competing with his inks, but that's available on his table anytime you want to see Hayden at a show, and he's I'm sure he's selling it online as well.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, nice and hefty.
I think that's probably everything from the comic Con-versation.
Con-versation, yes.
Yep.
What else was I going to cover today? We've done the Stanleys. I've been dipping into the podcast Ink Pulp that we've been talking about last week. And I was watching one yesterday about what is a prestige comic. And it was I don't know whether you've seen that episode or not.
Yeah.
And it was funny comparing the experience of watching a podcast. I hope we don't stomp over each other's comments and talk over each other and like they do, because I was laughing. I was watching it on treadmill yesterday morning, and I was there going, "Oh bloody hell! I hope we're not this bad."
I think we're pretty good. I think we do all right.
But sometimes they have 3 or 4 people on at the same time, and there's no indication of who's talking next, so it's just a bit of a crash sometimes.
Yeah. And they have that automatic, it's full screen on whoever's talking.
That's right.
So if you happen to make a grunt, it'll come back to you, even though someone else is talking. And So yeah, I think we do all right.
Being the first show that I watched, Eric, how do you say his surname? Canetta? Yeah. Yeah, he's very dry. He's very dry and funny sense of humor, but very dry. So
Canete? Yeah. And he's he has that persona every episode that he's on. So he's pretty good value in that regard.
Everyone else is pretty natural, and you get his deadpan, he'll just throw a dagger, he'll just throw a comment. And it's like, anyway, Ink Pulp, it's worth listening to if you're looking for something to spend some time with while you're inking or drawing away in your studio, and all of your Club Damingos have been watched.
I'm cherry picking through the list of things that look like they might be relevant to me.
Yeah.
But
what is a stark interest though is the nature of the American industry and where those four creators are at. I don't remember all of their names, but the hosts of Ink Pulp all have different stages of their career. They're all quite popular and successful. And they're talking about, producing an artist edition of their graphic novel, and they're giving away free issue zeros. And I'm there going, how much would that cost? And I'm rationalizing it all by saying, of course, they're basing this all in America, and they have profile. So,
Every time there's some good advice, I have to put the filter in front of it and go, but what happens between here and there in Australia, or here in America? Like, how will it actually operate? So, it's a little bit. It's interesting that there really is still that tyranny of distance. It does still matter, to a certain extent. Who was I talking to recently that was talking about? Well, it was probably you when we were talking about about doing Kickstarters.
Yes, it was me.
And you got stuff printed in America for the Americans, and printed here for the Australians, and so thinking about all that kind of stuff. But I probably haven't quite finished it yet, but they do a interview with one of the guys who runs is it called Zoot? Crowdfunding. The other crowdfunding platform that is supposedly specifically for comic books, and it was pretty interesting. I didn't realize. I thought it was actually like a closed gate, kind of gated environment where you had to be somebody of a very high level before they would. As in, it was, and maybe it was at the beginning. It was owned by those people, or co-founded by all of these comic book people who were saying, "This is our platform for our stuff only." But it is curated, as is Kickstarter to a certain extent. But I believe this is a little bit more curated. But it's also full service in that if you don't want to do any of it, they will take a larger percentage of the outcome. But they will design your entire campaign, and they will fulfill it. They will print it and fulfill it. And it's like, wow, I didn't realize that was a thing. And it's actually making me sit up and think, should I consider that for American versions of Kickstarters?
Yeah, I'm on their mailing list, and it's just one of those emails that you scroll through, and it's like all amazing projects, and then you just bin it because you're too busy. Don't get distracted. Don't get distracted. One thing about Kickstarter that I noticed with Dean Haspiel's campaign is that he mentioned that Kickstarter had some sort of staff dispute or union dispute, which I didn't know anything about.
I only saw that recently too. No, I didn't either. And it wasn't Haspiel who brought it to my attention. It was somebody, maybe Haspiel was the guy who retweeted it or re-blogged it or something. But I saw from somebody that I don't follow that they've paused their Kickstarter until the dispute is over, in solidarity with the staff who have gone on strike. And I'm going, I didn't even know that had happened. So,
so this plays into my point last week of anything could happen to make a big multinational or a monopoly kind of situation like Kickstarter is be on shaky ground. All it takes is a union walkout, and all of a sudden the whole business is compromised, and everyone's projects are at risk in some way, shape, or form. So that's further to my point of last week about how doing as much of it yourself as you possibly can. In making the decision to use a crowdfunder or pay up front for your stock and sell it yourself via your website and your own social marketing outreach. So I thought that was very interesting. Just as we talk about it, Kickstarter is a bit rattled by some staff issues.
So do you know anything more about it than that?
No, I'm going to research it a little bit this afternoon, but I don't know anything coming into the show. No, it's just something that's right, Haspiel mentioned that the union business with Kickstarter and how much that affected his campaign. He still, got over the line, and it's still chugging away. But I think it was the services were limited as far as Kickstarter supported the campaign.
Yeah, right. Wow. Well, there you go. Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. What else have you got on your list?
Let's see. Stanley recipient ink pulp. Be animated. I was also going to run the idea past you, which we didn't talk about before we pressed record. I think we've mentioned it before, about using this show as a bit of a weekly workload check. As far as
God.
Oh, I might go fuzzy. Oh, I did go fuzzy.
Yeah, you should go fuzzy. Look at you, you jerk.
But yeah, in service to maintaining momentum or beginning momentum and maintaining it, even if there's a show and tell each week of what was done, not by you necessarily, but by me primarily. But if you want,
then I'm okay with it. Go ahead.
Just to keep me stroke us honest.
Yeah, I totally get it.
Yeah, whether there's any pros or cons to that from your point of view.
Yeah. The cons at this point for me is that because I'm remastering old pages, I've really got nothing to show. So it's
yeah, that's okay. I was thinking more from my side of the equation,
sure,
whether it would be useful or not. And I don't know whether that would just
like that.
Whether it would just introduce a lot of anxiety each week.
Oh, well, there's that as well. Marcelo Baez from Wollongong, who was at Comic Conversation last weekend, he said his current version of that is as follows. He does like a weekly art workshop, for kids, for teens, right? And he decided recently that he would say to them, right, every week when we get together, I'm going to start the class by showing you what I've done this week so you can keep me honest.
Right.
And he said that's really high stress because especially the young teens, when he turns up with nothing, they go, oh, man, you've done nothing this week. What's wrong with you? You're good. He said the younger kids, whenever he brings something in, they go, "That's amazing! Wow!" What younger artists are like. But yeah,
so the older teens are you loser.
Yeah, what a loser! You didn't do anything, or even what you did is that all you did. So it's kind of pretty stressful to bring that to bear.
Yeah. But it all comes back to momentum and what works to maintain that momentum. Even if it is your remastering project, setting aside that time to get another page done, get another page done, get another page done. Before you know it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Momentum is so important. I think that's the key word for anyone in regular production. I just got a blowy that almost took my bloody wig off.
You got a blowfly. Oh, yeah, I can see it.
God, Tasmanian blowflies, they're like eagles.
and your eagles are like jumbo jets.
Yeah.
That's what you get for living in the country. We never talked about that last week either. Your wonderful little countryside manor. We get this little window into your little studio, but my God, you're living in this beautiful kind of on the side of a hill and.
Yeah, I took you up the side of the. I didn't take you up the side of the hill. I went venturing with you up the side of the hill, and you got to see the Huon Valley.
Up. Yeah. Gorgeous area.
Yeah, and did anyone take any photos that whole weekend?
I took some.
Oh, did you? Oh,
yeah. Anne-Marie took some. Yeah, it's on my list of things to do to
take them to the chemist and get them processed.
Yeah, that's right. Get them processed. Get a couple of copies made and to send them out. I took so many photos at Mona, which I think are going to be good. I know you weren't there, but I mean like good arty photos. So I need to pass them on before the next ink spot goes to press, I guess, because they'll probably want some for that as well.
But you took some photos from the Friday and
a couple inside, little sneaky ones, and a few.
Good. Send them through because if I don't see photos, it didn't happen.
Fair enough. And I don't think I sat in your chair, the chair that you're sitting in right now, but I sat in Rusty's chair.
In Rusty's chair, who's right here on the rocking chair.
Oh, God bless Rusty. Yes. Yeah, I didn't realise it was Rusty's chair when I sat in it.
Your bum's probably all furry getting up and walking down the stairs. Yeah.
I hope Rusty didn't mind.
I mean, your bum's probably all furry anyway, but even more.
That's right. My bum's furry. You met the pants I was wearing. Hopefully they weren't too furry. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, haven't. Oh, I won't go into it. Okay, so what were we what were we talking about there?
Oh God.
Uh,
Anyway, so yeah, you were talking about my lovely, my lovely spread, country spread.
yes, wonderful. Yes, and how you're going to turn the barn that's in a little bit of disrepair at the moment? You're going to turn that into a huge studio with a couple of bedrooms there for visiting artists to come and sleep and make a little retreat and the Huon
That's
Valley
right.
Comic
Yeah.
Artist Retreat Center.
Yeah.
Yeah, can't wait.
I'm gonna do a Kickstarter to fund it all.
Yeah, great.
Well,
With it,
stupider ideas have been put forward.
this is true. This
Yeah.
is true. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. A little bit disappointed I didn't get to ride on the back of the ride on quad bike with Belle. Woohoo! That would have been good.
But you did meet the dogs and you met the cat.
Oh, the dogs are amazing.
Yeah.
Bigger, like, yeah. I understand now why your fuel bill is so low, because you ride your dogs into town whenever you need to get into town. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
huge.
And the house
beautiful
was
things.
packed on the Friday before the weekend. We had maximum capacity of adults in the house, and the dogs really behaved themselves. It's only a small farmhouse.
Yeah.
We've got a big Great Dane. We've got a medium-sized Labrador cross, and they navigated the guests quite brilliantly. You know, getting pats for everyone, and then getting too exhausted and just falling asleep on their bed.
That's right.
Yeah.
And the Great Dane, what's the Great Dane's name?
Nelly.
Nelly. Yeah, Nelly, that's right, because it's got an N on the
white
chest.
N on her chest.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Blossom. Beautiful dogs. Yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah. And then there's Rusty, who comes down at dinner time saying, "Where's my food?" Yeah.
Wasn't Rusty amazing? As soon as we got there, Rusty pretty much came down and went, "What is going on here?"
Yeah.
Okay, I approve. And then went outside for it.
I'm going back
to
to
some photos. You can put it up in the thing. That my time with Rusty on the front veranda was great as well.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, he was up on the handrail, wasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, he's not backwards and coming forwards, that cat.
Yeah.
Anyway,
awesome time.
Yeah, I'm glad you got to see the place anyway. So now you know, you have a sense of where things are, I suppose.
Yeah.
So yeah, all good. It was a good visit. We should have filmed some video or something to insert into the show, but
sounds like homework.
We were enjoying the moment. So it was all
exactly.
Yeah. So
you
got anything else?
Drink and Draws coming back.
Yeah. Hey, last week you had something on your list that you were going to say, we'll leave it till next week.
Yeah. Okay. But just quickly, Drink and Draws coming back. So, and I think
November.
At this point, I'm penciled in for November 21st, 8 p.m. Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Saving Time.
Right.
So, should be fun. They're a great bunch. Yeah. We'll talk about that more when it happens, I guess.
Yeah, how to log on and get access to that will be made on the socials, so just stay tuned on that. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah, okay. So the thing that I had last week, have we got time? How long have we been rabbiting on for? Probably not an hour yet.
45 minutes.
And it's
now,
the thing that I was going to talk about last week, I wish I had talked about it last week, because it's a great example of the fact that the ideas are all out there, ready to be taken, and that you and I, as artists and entrepreneurs, business people, have got antenna that just hone in, what do you call it on a radio, where you tune in, you just kind of tune in to an idea and go, I'll take that idea. And if you don't act on it, the idea will stay there until somebody else tunes in and acts on it.
Yep.
The thing I was going to talk about was with the Greener Pasture short film. I don't want to be a filmmaker or a television maker. I just want the money that it might bring in if we can sell the IP of Greener Pastures to make a television show.
Right.
And to make that an easier sell, we decided to make a short film.
Yeah.
So that's the short film. But the short film's not even finished yet, and we're having to start to talk to people about, are they interested in the IP, and how interested, and how does this work, and um, what cut do you get? How do you get paid? And me, when I say you, I mean me as the IP owner, me and Michael.
Yep.
What do we get? How does it work? What are our credits? What percentages? What outright money? And I've had some conversations with some very generous people like Tom Taylor, who has talked to me on the phone about how he's gone about it with, like, The Deep, for example, as well as how he's kind of gone about book deals, which I know is not the same as a TV deal. But it's all about contracts and IP and all of that stuff. And I wrote to Ryan K. Lindsay and Nathan Juravicius, Big Tim Styles, Sean Keenan, who all at different levels are looking at IP being moved into other media. And people like Big Tim Styles has gone to Melbourne International Film Festival to do their roundtable or their like speed dating pitch sessions.
Yep.
I think Sean Keenan's done that as well. While Nathan Juravicius has already gone through all of that. He's had a feature film, great animated feature film on Scary Girl, and at least one computer game, I think. Ryan K. Lindsay has been chatting to people, and you yourself have chatted to people about your IP being made into something else. So I've done this all kind of separately. And I thought to myself, should I make a working group? And I think that's the proper term, like a working group or a feedback club, or I don't know what the term is. And it doesn't, like, it can be as small as a WhatsApp group or something like that, where we can all be chatting about it and learning from each other, rather than me asking each one of these people separately for some kinds of advice. Like, why shouldn't we all be chatting with each other? And people who are actually at that level, not somebody who hasn't even made their comic yet but wants to talk about having a 3-film movie deal. People who are actually working hard to get their stuff together for moving into different media, and how that might work. And I thought, if we were to do that, like just with those names that I mentioned, and I'm sure there are other people out there. I'm not trying to cut anyone off. I'm just like thinking about the people who are in my own circles as well. It means that maybe when there's 6 of us, and then I send an invitation to Robert Kirkman or Greg Rucker or someone like that, and say, you guys have had stuff, your personal IP translated to television or film. Like, can you give us advice? Can we do a 1-hour Zoom? And maybe we even pay for it. And of course, there's 6 of us. It doesn't cost us that much to pay Robert Kirkman to do it. But I should look into that, and so I've kind of been waiting for a couple more people to chat to. I'm going to have a 1-hour meeting with Sean Keenan soon, just to shoot the breeze on this as well, which I've done before. He's a really giving person, and he's got his head screwed on so well. Comics to movies being his comic imprint, his publishing name. I kind of thought about that. And in the meantime, between last week when we recorded and this week when we're recording, Sean Keenan put on Facebook, so it's out there for the public to see, anyone interested in being in a comics mastermind. And we're all going, what's a mastermind? And I guess I'm interested if you tell me more. And he's saying almost the same thing. I'm being very specific about it, about talking about our IP into other media, but he's saying, just us who are trying to make our living from comics, maybe we should all get together every so often and talk to each other about how we're doing it and what's working and what's not. And so again, it's a bit of an open invitation, sort of, but I think he's going to curate it, once he sees who's interested. But it's the exact same idea. And somebody that's on my list, is the person who's come up with the idea at the same time. So it's,
and you will get different people that want to play their cards close to their chest for different reasons as well.
Yeah.
But in the big picture, there's not a real lot of logic behind keeping your cards close to your chest. Really, like if you're giving of information and you don't feel threatened that someone's going to gazump you because your idea is you're dealing with one agent, and then all of a sudden you get gazumped from someone getting in touch with the same agent and all this kind of stuff. I think there is There's not a huge fear of that happening because of reasons. I think the people involved that you've rattled off have their heads screwed on. So comparing notes and information is a good thing. So any opportunity that it is a selfless act of communication for the good of people coming up the rear is a good thing, I think.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. I think we're early stages for Sean to be putting together the mastermind group. And I haven't really gotten anywhere with suggesting what I was going to suggest, but I will.
When I bumped into that social feed, I thought he was actually putting together an internet game show where you'd sit
me too.
with a spotlight on going, my expert subject is the Fantastic Four issues numbers 74 to 103.
That's right. Exactly. That's what I thought it was going to be. We actually watched an episode of Mastermind Australia last night because I've never really watched it. Really, I don't think I've ever really seen a whole episode of Mastermind, which is one of the classic kind of game show quiz shows. And amazingly, one of the contestants, her subject was Scott Pilgrim versus the World, the film. I'm going, well, there you go. I've got something to watch there.
That's specific.
We're pretty sure that one of the other contestants on that episode went to school with my daughter. And we're going, this is crazy. The one episode that's on tonight. It's not even like we picked one out of the, streaming list. It was just the one that was on.
And that's on SBS, isn't it?
Yes, that one's on SBS. We've been watching, again, I'd never really watched it before. I knew of it, but we've been watching Hard Quiz quite a bit recently. Usually around
that's a very tight show. I reckon.
Oh my God!
Like gold medal for is it half hour? Half hour and like boom, 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 and it still has time for comedy, but it's so tightly paced that like it's the top of the game. I reckon.
When you go to a couple of tapings of shows that are taped and then edited, you realize it's possibly an hour and a half that it took them to get that 30 minutes to make themselves look that tight. But
as a viewing experience,
so funny.
It's paced so well.
Yeah. So by coincidence, Maria, what's Maria's last name? Who is a novel writer and well known for being a fan of the Phantom and had her Phantom podcast for a while. She was on a couple of the episodes we watched, but the other night, so it was just last week, and an old episode like from 4 seasons ago, because they're showing repeats. There was a guy on who was pretty animated and had an interesting face and really interesting personality. Was on, and I'm going, I know that guy from somewhere. I'm saying to Emery, I'm sure I know who that guy is. We're going, he's just interesting and whatever. And then I'm going through behind the scenes images for Greener Pastures short film for another thing, right? And I'm going, oh my God, it's that guy. That was the guy that was on 4 seasons ago. He's the stand-in for
Jeff Morrell.
For Jeff Morrell on the day that he couldn't make it. And I'm going, and Amory's going, oh my God, I can't believe that.
World.
Yeah, unbelievable. Because he had quite a way about him. You talk about being animated. He had quite a way about him, and I'm going, that was him. And we had to go to the streaming feed to bring it up again because it's a good I think it was a good 5 years old, the episode. And Amory's going, yeah, I think you're right. It is him. So tiny world, amazing. Yeah.
Okay, I think that's enough for this week.
Sure.
Well done. Good show. Good tight show.
Nicely done, everybody.
You are.
and guest starring the Bumblefly. What have you got there? A big blowfly.
Still swooping me.
I know.
It's the magpies
I can see it go by every so
often. Anyway, okay, I'm stopping now. And
all right.
See you next week, everyone. Bye.